Okay, this might be the best Disneyland fireworks show ever. The 100th anniversary of the Walt Disney Company has officially begun, and I'm going to take you to its epicenter at the Disneyland Resort. So if you're going soon, you're going to want to follow along because I'm going to show you the best stuff and some tips for when you visit. Hey, I'm David Vaughn, and let's discover Disneyland together during Disney100. Now, you might have heard Disney100 before and said, what exactly does that mean? So, like I said before, it is the 100th anniversary of the Walt Disney Company, and they've decided to throw this party at the Disneyland Resort. Here you will see unique decorations all around the resort, including here in downtown Disney. Now, these are just little touches. They're not completely painting everything brand new, but the colors are the shimmering platinum and also this purple. So that's reflective in the merchandise, the decor, character costumes, and more that you're going to see around the resort. Now, these decorations are mostly embellishments that you're going to see around place to place. It's not going to do a total takeover, new paint job type of thing. So you might see banners here and there commemorating different milestones within the Disney Company, but not every single land is going to be sparkling, covered in banners, covered in purple, that type of thing. It's still going to have that classic Disneyland feel, but there will be enough hints there to tell you, hey, there's another party going on too. And I think a lot of guests are going to appreciate that. One of the first things that you're going to notice when you enter Disneyland is this Mickey statue. It has a paraphrased quote from Walt Disney saying it all started with the mouse. And speaking of Walt, if you're feeling a bit nostalgic, you gotta head into the Disney Gallery. It's mostly the queue space for the Lincoln attraction, but inside there's so much to see. This new exhibit, the Disney Gallery, presents 100 Years of Wonder, totally inspired by Walt Disney's original vision of Disneyland and more. You're going to see all sorts of concept art from original and very new attractions. It's stuff you can see, read about, learn about. And there was definitely some concept art here that I had never seen before up close, as well as some nods to previous attractions, including the Mine Train through Nature's Wonderland. I would have loved to go on this previous Disneyland train ride, but it was replaced by Big Thunder Mountain Railroad before I was born, so. But who remembers Rocket Rods? Because this is great 90s nostalgia here. I also saw some incredible concept art for Fantasyland that I didn't even know was a thing. Like, you gotta check this out. Like, this is so strange. Like, look at this. Some of this Fantasyland concept art is almost creepy, but honestly, I love it. I really do. They also brought back the sad baby Dumbo. And speaking of creepy, this witch, she was creepy. So after you check out the gallery, you gotta head over to the castle at the end of Main Street and see its unique decorations. Disney dressed it in platinum banners and bunting, and you can even see the wishing star on the banners and above the castle. I thought one of the best touches was adding the Sleeping Beauty fairies to the castle holding up the banner. I'm gonna zoom in here so you can get a closer look. And on each side of the castle are two new fountains that I really think are an excellent new touch. Also near the castle is this Minnie statue, and Disneyland also says that in the future these statues will interact with Magic Band Plus. One of the surprising additions to me was actually the wrap on the monorail. It is so striking to see these trains with this iridescent hue. Seems like everybody just stops and stares as they go by. Now I'm gonna hop over to Disney California Adventure to show you some of the decor there. It's not nearly as much as Disneyland, just a little sparkles here and there, some banners. But I love the statues they put inside the shops. I thought they were a really nice touch. Alright, so swinging back to Disneyland, if you want to meet some of the classic characters in their new outfits, I've got some tips for you. So you're mostly going to find them in that front section of Main Street, but if you see that door there, that's where they mostly come out of. Lines for them in the morning and the early afternoon can get pretty long, so you might have to wait a bit, and they might change out characters as you're waiting, so just a heads up. But if you're okay seeing them from afar, there are a couple different opportunities that are really great. Like, check out this marching band show that they did on Main Street. My personal favorite way to see characters is during the character cavalcade. This is just a single parade float that goes from Fantasyland near It's a Small World down Main Street, but you get to see all kinds of characters out. including the Fab Five and their friends in their new costumes. I also like giving this tip because these characters do a really good job of interacting with guests around them. So if you want to have that special character moment, but you don't want to wait in a long line and you want to see them all at once, well, this cavalcade usually runs about once each day around 12:30 or 1 p.m. It's called the Mickey and Friends Cavalcade. You can look it up in the app. Speaking of Mickey, we can finally go back to the new Toontown and we could ride Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. Now there is a caveat here. You do need to successfully join a virtual queue in order to experience this attraction. This new ride opened in Toontown on January 27th, but the rest of the land will not be ready until March 8th. There's still a small portion of Toontown that you can experience right outside the ride near Roger Rabbit's Cartoon Spin, but Roger Rabbit is not open during this time. That is also scheduled to open March 8th with the rest of Toontown. Now, to join the virtual queue for Runaway Railway, you do need to join it on the Disneyland app at either 7 a.m. or 1 p.m. daily. Those are the times it opens up. These spots go super quick. There is a lot to explain, but the good news is I do have a video that you can check out where I go step by step on how to join the virtual queue along with some tips. That's really great if you've never done it before, you just want a refresher. Otherwise, if you are familiar, the queue opens up at 7 a.m. and also 1 p.m. daily. But now we're in the physical queue for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway. If you've been on the one at Disney World, this is completely different. In fact, the queue is awesome. There's so many Easter eggs. It is so much fun. Also love that they made this look like an old Hollywood theater. Like they nailed it with this one. They named the theater the El Capitan after the El Capitan. So lots of puns throughout this queue too. Like if you love a good pun, this queue is for you. I also want to say how much I love this ride and I highly recommend it for everybody. There is no height restriction for Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway, so anybody can ride it. It is so colorful, so zany, so fun. It is surprising. Disney fans of all ages are going to love this ride. It is so much fun. There's kind of these like 2.5D kind of effects they do. They really bring the cartoon to life. You don't need 3D glasses or anything like that. It is just insane how colorful they made this. I know the virtual queue can be a bit daunting sometimes, but it is a way to eliminate a 5-hour wait for an incredibly new and popular ride. All right, so before I give you my next Disney 100 tip, make sure you hit that subscribe button so I can give you even more tips for your next visit. All right, so believe it or not, Disneyland's giving away a freebie to all guests. Starting February 4th, you can download the ride attraction photos for free in the Disneyland app. So if all those rides worked up an appetite, I recommend heading over to the Jolly Holiday. Disney brought back a fan favorite beef sandwich. It's crunchy and cheesy and so good. I don't know how long it'll be around for, but if it's on the menu, you gotta get it. As for Disney 100 snacks, I got this lemon tea cake. It is definitely nice and lemony with these lemon curds and lemon zest glaze. And it's adorned with this platinum edible chocolate. The milk chocolate is fine, but the lemon tea cake is a hit. Now, if you want a snack that looks very Instagrammable and might spark some curiosity, here they sell a milk and cookies pretzel. It's a cream cheese pretzel with taro sweetened condensed milk topped with Oreo cookie crumbles. It's not as sweet as you think that it would be, but yeah, it is still definitely very sweet. I think kids will like this more, but if you just want the cream cheese pretzel, they sell that individually and it is bomb. Now, another sweet item I recommend is the Disney 100 churro. It's a churro rolled in cherry sugar and drizzled with white icing and topped with pralines. And since everything is purple and silver, we got to talk about the merch, which is purple and silver. Now, of course, there's other colors splashed in there too, but most of it is going to be those colors, maybe some black. You're going to see a ton available in the different gift shops around the Disneyland Resort. This is Downtown Disney, Disneyland Park, and Disney California Adventure. So Disney Parks invited me to a media event where I could show you all of this merchandise at once on display. But this is all stuff that you can buy inside the parks. Some of it is available on Shop Disney if you want to order it before you go. But this Mickey Sipper is popular and he's only in the parks. Now, I talked a little bit about Magic Bands here. So if you want a new Magic Band Plus and you want it for the Disney 100, I really, really like this one. My favorite spot to buy Magic Bands is in Tomorrowland. It's a shop dedicated mostly just pins and Magic Bands, so they pretty much have everything. And yes, that includes the new Disney 100 band, which I did buy for myself. They're about $45 and they do light up in some of the attraction queues. Another popular item this year is a silver popcorn bucket. It is totally chrome, totally reflective, and that is where you store your popcorn. So you've been on the rides, you've eaten, and now it's time for a nighttime show. The new World of Color one also uses a virtual queue that drops at noon. You do need a reservation to Disney California Adventure or a park hopper ticket if you started at Disneyland, and you have to scan into one of the parks before noon to access the queue that time. But World of Color is an all-new show just for Disney 100. It covers a huge scope of Disney films, both animated and live action, and some of them were very surprising. There was an entire segment just for Star Wars that I thought was absolutely incredible. I really felt that the show picked up immensely once Star Wars came on. It is standing room only unless you get the dessert party. I'll link to that in the description below. So over at Disneyland, there's also a new nighttime spectacular called Wondrous Journeys. This is the show that I started this episode off with, and I gotta tell you, it is phenomenal. Disney says the show features nods to every single Walt Disney Animated Studios film over the last century. Its soundtrack also includes a new song called It's Wondrous. The show is both powerful and emotional and weaves together some of the best Disney stories in one of the most impressive ways I have ever seen. And yes, that is Baymax from Big Hero 6 flying over Sleeping Beauty Castle. There's something for everybody, from a classic Disneyland fan to the newer fans. There is so much to love about this show. So how can you see these nighttime spectaculars? Well, World of Color usually shows each night at Disney California Adventure, and Wondrous Journeys will also play nightly, but only with projections during the week. And then Disneyland adds fireworks on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. Some holidays may also have fireworks. And there's no virtual queue for Wondrous Journeys. You can stand pretty much anywhere. Main Street USA is a great spot, especially if you just want to cruise in like 20 minutes before the show begins. If you're willing to wait an hour or so before the show, then you can be right in front of the castle. There's also viewing from It's a Small World and Rivers of America, where Fantasmic plays. Now let's look into the near future of the Disney 100 celebration. The Jaw-Dropping Magic Happens parade will return on February 24th. This is a daytime parade that usually shows twice each day. It should be running daily starting February 24th. I'll share more tips about Magic Happens in the future, and Mickey's Toontown also reopens on March 8th. So until then, thanks for joining me. I'm David Vaughn, and I'll see you next time.